6:00 p.m. August 13th, 2018. We rise for the invocation by Mr. Benny Dollins of the Blossom Church of God.
Let's pray. Dear Heavenly Father, we come before you at this time, and we just humbly ask, Lord, that you would be with this council this evening as they conduct this important business. Lord, we pray that you give wisdom and understanding to each member of this council. God, we also pray for unity among this council as they work through this agenda this evening. Lord, we just pray for your continued safety and protection. Lord, for our law enforcement, our firemen, volunteer firemen, and first responders, our city workers, and administrators here at City Hall. And God, we just pray the decisions made here in this council, God, would help better this community to make it stronger and more vibrant. And Lord, we ask these things in your name. In the name of Jesus, we pray. Amen.
Amen. Thank you, Mr. Dollins.
Thank God.
Give the Pledge of Allegiance to the United States and Texas flag.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state, under God, one and indivisible.
Roll call.
Brennan Thomas.
Here.
Patricia Wood.
Here.
Amanda Willows. Joey McCarthy. Stacy Nichols.
Here.
Let the record show absent Councilmember Amanda Willows, Mayor Pro Tem Joey McCarthy, and City Attorney David Hamilton. Also present Mayor Bart Jeton and City Secretary Tricia Smith taping the minutes.
Officer Jernigan, is there anybody signed up for a public hearing? All right. We can go to item 7, consent item, discuss, take action on A, monthly bills and purchase orders for July 2018, B, minutes for July 2018 city council meetings, C, financial update for July 2018, and D, monthly activity reports for July 2018 from 1, Police Department, 2, Public Works Department, and 3, Reno Volunteer Fire Department.
Mr. Mayor, I make a motion that we accept consent items A through D, 1 through 3.
I'll second.
We have a motion by Councilmember Nichols, seconded by Councilmember Woods to approve items A through D and 1 through 3. All in favor?
Aye.
I'm going to open a public hearing at 6:05 p.m. to discuss, take action on proposed budget for Reno Crime Control and Prevention District for fiscal year 2018-2019.
There's no one signed in to speak.
There's no one signed in. We'll close the public hearing at 6:05 p.m.
Council, this is the same budget that Chief Massey presented to you guys at the Crime Control Board last month.
I'll make a motion that we accept the Reno Crime Control and Prevention budget for fiscal year 2018-2019.
I'll second.
Have a motion by Councilmember Nichols, seconded by Councilmember Thomas to approve the proposed budget for Reno Crime Control 2018-2019. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Item number 9A, proclamation to support completely widening to 4 lanes US 271 and US 82 in Lamar and Red River counties, as requested by Judge Chuck Superville.
Council, the proclamation is in your packet, and Judge Superville is here if you have any questions for him.
How many votes do y'all need to get? I mean, not votes, but signatures. Do y'all need to get a lot of signatures together?
We need a lot. I'm ready to let Don Wall start the conversation.
Council?
Yes, sir. How you doing, Mr. Wall?
Good afternoon, and it's sure good to see all of you in there, council members. We're here, I'm sure you're good, all of you are probably aware of it, but TxDOT is turning in for, it's 2 major projects, 82 and 271 to finish up to 4 lane in December, and they're requesting public support. Judge Superville's been very active in his working with TxDOT to get this online, and he asked me to help get public support this year. So I'm gonna turn it over to Judge Superville, let him explain the project, and then Mr. Perry or TxDOT will answer any technical questions you may have out in the projects that are actually being outlined.
Thank you, Don. Kind of Shanghai Don. I don't remember where I bumped into him, but I want to brag on Don Wall for a couple minutes. I mean, he's sort of the godfather for transportation development in Lamar County. I don't know if y'all remember the green carpet route, which was basically 271 South. He got that close to getting it done. He made a lot of progress on that. Mr. Perry's going to talk a little bit about how much progress has been made on 271 South. But also the Highway 1924 South, I-30, is going to be completed just any time now, hopefully by the end of this winter. Brad ran into some technical difficulties on that, but it was Mr. Wall that got the Regional Mobility Authority done, and I believe he was the chairman of that when it was first created. And that's taken us about 15 years to get connected to I-30, and that's great news for 4-lane connection for this community. And I bring, I think, good news here tonight for everyone, where growth is going to come to Lamar County. We are that close to really taking off. During the process of working on Highway 1924, TxDOT indicated that they had some planning documents for the complete widening of 4 lanes of US 82 and 271. And of course, that got my attention, and I started burning Mr. Perry's emails up, asking a lot of questions, and he was very kind and very, very polite to answer all my questions. I want to say TxDOT has been amazing to work with. They're fantastic. We would not have got 1924 done without their help. It came in under budget financially, and came in under budget time-wise because of their expertise, and that's always good news. So TxDOT has begun the planning process for widening of 82 complete to 4 lanes and 271. But planning and constructing in TxDOT language, I've learned, are way 2 completely different things. You can stay on a planning document literally forever. What we need, and what Mr. Walton said, was we need to get this project, the widening of 271 South and 82 East and West, we need to get it pushed up from the planning stage to what's called the Unified Transportation Plan, the UTP. Once it gets onto the UTP, you're inside a 10-year window, kind of what I, in my mind, sort of a conveyor belt between 0 and 10 years, where real dollars, construction dollars to turn dirt start to happen. The short answer, or the short problem, to state the problem in a short manner, is when you kind of look at this from 10,000 feet, not entirely, but virtually, only 2 counties on 82 and 271 that are not completely widened at 4 lanes are Lamar and Red River counties. Now, Dan's going to talk about the other surrounding counties that are working on those right now, but and they have construction dollars, but we are the only two counties virtually that are not completely widening four-lane. It's my humble opinion that we have not shared in the development growth rate around the state of Texas because we've not been completely widening four lanes. I want you to imagine, if you would, for just a moment, imagine 5 major four-lane highways converging on the loop in Paris, Lamar County, Texas. 271 North, 271 South, 82 West, 82 East, and Highway 1924. Where if we can get these highways four-lane, and we can convert Paris, Lamar County, which Reno is right there, we can turn this place where we're standing right now into a major transportation hub in northeast Texas within the next 10 years. Industry follows freight, commerce follows industry, and housing follows commerce. So if we can get this done 10 years from now, we can be seeing some real growth. I think of another context that I put in my mind. We're working on Spiral Weld, which is a great project. We can bring that in. I think the investment for Spiral Weld is about $80–90 million. Each piece of these 4 highways or 5 highways is about that much. So imagine 5 of those Spiral Welds coming to this community. And so what TxDOT needs is they need to hear from us. TxDOT is competing with, I want to say, 26 other districts for this pool of money. So what TxDOT needs is a big envelope, either physical or electronic, with letters and emails from as many people and entities as we can, where TxDOT can say, this community in Northeast Texas really wants this to happen. Now, Dan is not able to ask for that, but the county judge, Don Wall, sure can, and that's why we're here, is to ask for your support, where the magic words are the complete widening of 4 lanes of US 82, US 271, and Martin and Red River counties. The decision will be made by December, and based on the conversation with Mr. Wall, we're trying to get this done by October 1st. And that's why we're here tonight. And if I could approach, I wanted to kind of hand out, this is my own sort of crude handout, but Mayor, if I could approach just for a second, and that's what Brad staff needs. What we're looking for is not only a proclamation from your city council that you can attach to an email and a hard copy to Mr. Perry.
But you need that one back.
Sir?
Say your copy on it.
Oh, thank you, sir. The other thing I was hoping for is that each of your city council members on city council letterhead could do a letter, attach it to an email and a snail mail, and send that to Mr. Perry Monopoly. The second page is kind of important too, and it's kind of hard to read, but this middle piece is Mr. Perry's email. And at a minimum, I was hoping that everybody could send him an email saying, hey, I support complete widening of 4 lanes in US 271 and US 82 in Lamar and Red River counties. Here's kind of the language right up here that you can use. So this is our chance, this is our time to really try to do some good, to grow, expand, and develop Northeast Texas and turn our community into a much larger, much more vibrant economy. I'd like to kind of recognize Mr. Perry at this point, because he can kind of tell you a whole lot more about this than I am. But what I really need tonight is your proclamation. I need a letter from each one of your city council members on letterhead sent to Mr. Perry. And I need everyone to please send an email to Mr. Perry saying, we support the complete widening of US 82 and US 271. Thank you very much. Dan, do you want to come up and say a few words?
Appreciate y'all letting me speak with you. Just so we want to kind of give you guys an update on where we're at as far as highway development goes in the area. Just short story is, over the past several years, voters in the state of Texas approved Propositions 1 and 7. What Propositions 1 and 7 have done is it took money that was being diverted to rainy day funds and it was spent on some other things that constitutionally was supposed to go to transportation and redirected that back to transportation. So effectively what that did was it more or less doubled the amount of money that we have to build out what we need to unified transportation plan over the next 10 years. It's nowhere near enough, you know, that it gives us a foothold on kind of what we need to do. It gives us about 70% of what it is. So it's still a competition for us to go out and try to get that money on projects that we locally at TxDOT, I think, are important. Last month, the Paris District, we let the biggest project we've let construction-wise in our district, in our 101-year district. It was $73 million to widen US 82 from Bonham to the Lamar County line to 4 lanes. That brings it right to our doorstep. That brings it right to Lamar County. It makes sense that we need to be planning on how we're going to get that thing across to the loop in Paris, and how we're going to get from just west of Blossom through River County to Bowie County. If you look on the map, from Bonham west all the way to I-35 in Gainesville, that's 4 lanes. And if you look over in Bowie County, a lot of that's already 4 lanes, and Bowie County, the Atlanta district over there, what they've done is they've gotten their phase 1 of their 5-lane project coming west out of DeKalb toward Paris, out of New Boston towards Red River County is complete. Their plan is to widen it out to 5 lanes. So we've got it coming at us from the west and coming at us from the east. It makes sense for us to try to get this done and bridge that gap and get it complete. So what we've done is we've gone out and procured an engineering firm to get a schematic, which is the preliminary engineering, right-of-way costs, utility reimbursement costs, environmental concerns together to figure out how we're going to get from Honeygrove to Loop in Paris. And part of that is coming up with different options and talking with people and talking with local government and saying what works best for you guys. At the same time, we've gone out and gotten a separate engineering firm together to help us plan on how to get from just east of here all the way to the Bowie County line. And that's a big project, but it makes sense that we go ahead and figure out how to get this thing all the way through here. And that's going to be the same thing. That's going to include public meetings and speaking with key stakeholders in the public and local government on what's the best way to do this. How we're going to, how we're going to get through Blossom, how we're going to get through Detroit, get around Clarksville, and on that line to get to where we need to go. That 30 to 35, I-30 to I-35 connection. One, it's important for this region because it allows relief off of I-30. And if you're heading east or heading west, you don't have to go into Dallas anymore. You can take a 4-lane road all the way through. But locally, it's huge. The increase in the growth in the economic development that spurs off of transportation would be huge for Lamar County, City of Reno, City of Paris, Clarksville, Red River County. It's big. There's that, and we've got that. We've got the planning ability to do that now. At the same time, 271 South, coming out of Paris to Mount Pleasant, has been that green carpet route that's been around for decades that Mr. Wall has worked on so hard to get completed. Through his leadership, we've gotten to the point where we've been able to complete these stepping stones. We've been able to get pieces here and pieces there, to where about all we've got left is just, Paris to Mount Pleasant, getting that done. Judge Superville met with Commissioner Austin of the Transportation Commission, and they're both big on 271. He's from Tyler. Judge Superville is in Lamar County. They work together, and Judge Superville is instrumental in getting us $26.7 million to get from Paris to Patton at 196. That's going to happen in 2023. So we went out and grabbed another engineering firm. Said, all right, you guys have got to tell us how to get that done. But not just that. How are we going to get from Paris to the Sulphur River, the edge of our district there in Titus County? Atlanta district has Titus County as well, which is where Mount Pleasant is. And Tyler has 271 further down the line. They've already prioritized 271 coming north out of Tyler. So locally for us, what that means is it's important for us, it's important for Tyler, it's important for Mount Pleasant. Because what it does is it gets you that north-south route that connects I-20, I-30, and then you get to 82 in Paris. You get 271 north, which you take all the way to Canada. And south of Tyler, you can take the road all the way to Port Houston and Port New Orleans. And it's a big benefit, a big relief route from I-45. And once again, it's the same question about, do you want to take 30 all the way into Dallas to get to where you're going? You want to take 45 all the way into Dallas to get to where you're going? Or can you take a better route that takes it, just happens to be right through our backyard? So we've told that engineering firm, hey, you guys got to get Paris to Patton, we'll figure it out quick, let's get it pulled out, and then figure out the schematic, the environmental, the utilities and right-of-way question to get south to the Titus County line down there to the river, where we've got the bridge already wide. Speaking to the district engineer for Tyler last week, and he said, yeah, we've already got that funded, we're going north out of Smith County. I was speaking to the TP&D director, my counterpart in the Atlanta district the same week, and she said, yeah, we got the plans on the shelf, we're getting the plans on the shelf, we're ready to go, they're starting to build bridges right now. So it's time for us to make this happen. But as the judge said, planning money is different from construction money. That UTP is a 10-year window, it's about $73 billion, and it's big, it sounds like a whole lot of money. But when we're dealing with $1.5 billion projects in Dallas, $1.6 billion projects in Houston, we've really got to fight for it. We've got to make our case that this is important for the state, it's important for the region, and it's important for the local community. And one of the best ways to do that is to get that support from local governments and from individuals and from businesses saying this is important to us. We're one of 25 districts, and we can cheerlead this thing all day long, and we've been doing that for years. But the decision makers are in Austin that approved this. We've got some friendly ears down there, I guess is a good way to put it. But I think if we can show them the kind of impact that it will make on our local community, we stand a good chance of getting this money. It's not a guarantee, and this comes up every year, but this is the first time we've been in a really good spot in a long time to make this happen. And we're going to keep hitting and keep hitting and keep hitting, and we're hopeful that this year we can see something as a result of that. Does anybody have any questions about the roads or what the plan is or how this works?
Yeah, I'm pretty excited to think that this could happen, because I've been in Lamar County my entire life. I work for a local industry, and I've been there for almost 30 years. But, you know, when you drive around the loop, you see all the industry that used to be here. And we've heard for years and years that we got to get the 4-lane through Paris to make all these things happen. So, and as far as Reno goes, I mean, 82 is 4-lane all the way through. 271, they just spent a bunch of money resurfacing it. So that would be the biggest thing for Reno, is just getting 271, I guess, that on the outside of our city. But, what are the plans for Blossom? I mean, they plan on keeping going through it, or?
That's one thing we need to talk to Blossom about.
Yeah.
It's, you know, there's several different options. Some involve kind of widening where we are and working with the city to figure out how to make that happen. There's other options. We don't ever want to go into a situation telling you, hey, this is what you guys are going to have to do. That's not what we're about. We want to do what works best for you guys, whether it's Blossom or Detroit or Avery or Anona, or, you know, all those routes in there that, you know, are kind of constricted and have geometry issues and width problems. But what we want, the whole idea is to get 4 lanes continuous through here. Industry, whether you're a manufacturer or you're a restaurant or you're a big retailer, they want to see 4-lane highways coming to and coming from where they're at. Their insurance costs go up, their trucking costs go through the roof when they're driving down 2-lane roads where you get behind a combine and you get stopped like that. So you guys know, if you're in the road, you know what it's like trying to get to Texarkana or Mount Pleasant. And so that's what we want to get 4 lanes through this thing. And there's several different ways to do it, but we're not ever going to go in and, you know, speaking with the city of Deeport the other day, same kind of thing. They have the same type of situation there with the school coming through town. it's not our plan to say, hey, this is the only option, you guys have got to go with it. We want to hear what they have to say about it, not just the city council, but the citizens, the business owners as well.
I've been trying to figure out for years why Paris has stayed the same, and it's got to be the transportation. I mean, you got people from Oklahoma, I mean, this is their nearest spots, you know, and it's a long way to Sherman, it's a long way to Dallas, it's a long way to Texarkana, so we're in a really good spot. If we just can get, we ever just get started.
That's
Just
it.
need that spark.
That's it. And it's,
Paris is almost in the middle of America.
yeah.
Yeah, but it is.
It's
Doesn't seem like it, but
I mean,
if
Paris
you
is.
took out a tape measure and a map, you'd see it.
Yeah, Paris is the hub of a wheel, is the way I like to look at it. I mean,
Right.
And a lot of things come in here, and you got a pretty good haul to get to any other town of any other size. We've got great natural resources, we've got a great workforce, great schools, great junior college.
Water.
And we've got all the ingredients right here.
And as long as, if Paris thrives, and Reno's going to be right there beside them, so.
That's right.
I have a question. If, let's just say this all happened, does it happen all at once? I mean, you gonna go different directions all at once? Or you gotta
Well,
do this one and then try to get some more money for that one?
That would be a great problem to have. If they gave it all to us all at one time, we would figure out a way to make it work. Historically, what happens is they say, all right, what makes, you know, if we're bringing 82 all the way up to the Lamar County line, it makes sense to go ahead and bridge that gap to the loop. Get that done, because once you're on the loop, you got what we call logical terminals, because it makes sense just to come here because of the people and what's going on. Because you got 271 north and you got 1924 south. It makes sense to make that jump. 271, we've got so many little stepping stones in place, and it's coming from both directions. To me, I would like to see us be able to go from Patville all the way to the Tyson County line with one road. I think that's doable. I think our local contractors can build that. They've got the capacity to do that. And I would love to see that push all the way through.
Would you tell them about right-of-ways acquired, the utilities don't need to be moved?
Yeah,
Bridges are in place?
Yeah, something that's good about 271 from Pattonville south is in the early 80s, Paris purchased the Paris Mount Pleasant Railroad right away. They're on the south side, and for the most part, it runs parallel to 271. Saying that is a good investment because someday we were going to be able to widen this thing out to 4 lanes, and we would need that right away. So that gives us a little more leverage. You know, say our right-of-way costs for that piece are going to be minimal, relatively speaking. The reimbursable utility costs will be minimal, relatively speaking, because while there are some utilities over there, we don't have to pay them to move because we own the right-of-way. They have an easement from us to be there. So we're in a good spot there to make that happen.
You have an estimate how many miles it is in Lamar County that you're talking about widening?
Well, west of Paris is about 19 miles.
Thank you very much.
And then all the way through Ritter, we want to say it's 38, pretty close to that. It's our counties are real close to, you know, Grayson, Fannin, Lamar, Ritter are all about the same width. And our towns are all pretty well smack dab in the middle of the county. And so we're usually 19 to 20 miles any direction you go from the county seat out. So we've bitten off these pieces, you know, to get from Bells to Bonham, and then from Bonham to the Lamar County line is about 20 miles, 19, 20 miles. To get from that point to Paris is about 19 miles. You know, to get all the way through Ritter County is going to be about 38, 39 miles. Of course, in Clarksville itself, we already have the right of way. They're only going to bypass Clarksville. So that's low hanging fruit, whether I look at that.
So it's 60 miles for those two counties, pretty much.
On 271, I go down there every month to the Covenant, you're on a 2-lane blacktop. And then all of a sudden you get to a 6-lane bridge, and then it goes right back down to 2 lanes. So Dan's already got the bridges placed, and the bridges is where your money is. And then the right-of-way's already acquired, and you don't have to pay to move the utilities. So it's really about turning dirt, so they're just that close. On 271, and that'll get you to I-30, and then from going south from 271 south, I don't know if that's 271 that goes south out of Mount Pleasant, down to Tyler, and that's already been done, or they're working on it right now, so it's done. So, I mean, we're just 271, we're that close, and that's out of Port of Houston and Port of New Orleans, and you go all the way to Canada, right through our front yard, and that would be gigantic. So,
I mean, to kind of give you an idea how hopeful we are about that, we've gone out and got another engineering firm that's really good at feasibility studies in urbanized areas, Burns McDonnell, and we've got them started on the loop in Paris, and Lamar Avenue, kind of out past Walmart, 42nd, because we're hopeful and pretty certain that this will happen. We're going to make it happen, but then we're going to have to figure out what we're doing on the loop. We got everybody converging on that hub of that wheel, and there's times on the northeast loop that the traffic's already pretty well saturated, and different times of day, at least our version of saturated. I was talking to a cousin of mine who lives in Houston, and was talking about the traffic, and he's laughed. But, rush minute for us is serious, and we need to do something about that, because what we want to do is we need to figure out how to be able to get those people going east and west on 82 and north and south on 271 safely through, and still let the local community be able to access the Home Depots and Smalley's and all the places that they like to go, that are kind of commercialized and have a lot of access issues now, and keeping that separated, keeping that safe. So we've started that already, because we want to figure out how to, and don't let me forget about the mix match, 271 South. We got to fix that.
Oh, yeah, yes. Please.
I see somebody using there every once in a while.
Yeah, I'm sure it was, I've gone back, I don't know how many times and looked at plans we drew 50-something years ago, and thought, why in the world? And it makes sense, I understand why they did what they did, but we need to figure out how to do that better.
So a lot of people miss that turn and try to U-turn and get killed there. A lot of them.
So the money it's all TxDOT money, it won't be any local money?
Well, typically these projects on the construction side are about 80% federal, 20% state. Texas is a donor state, is what we call it. For every dollar we give in to the federal government gas tax, we get about 80 cents back. It kind of varies during the year. But when it comes to the right-of-way and the utility side of it, typically local governments share in that cost, at a minimum. So that's something that's part of the process and how it works. But it's the bulk of it is typically federal, and then there's support from state, and then when you're talking about the things you have to do to get ready to build, there's typically a local government cost involved in that.
What kind of timeline are we looking at before they let us know if we made it to, let's say, the next phase of it?
They'll vote on, the Transportation Commission votes on it in December. So we'll know in December. And if we get some, that's awesome. That's just like this last time around. We put in for 75 in Grayson County. We put in for I-30 improvements in Hunt County. We put in for 271 for Paris Back. And we got them all. Lost a bet on that deal. Because that never happens. But we were thrilled to see it. However, that being said, we keep hammering them every year. So our top two priorities for our parish district that we submitted this year, unfunded transportation projects, were 82 and 271. It's that important to us locally. We want to see that happen. It makes sense to do it. We put that in number one, number two. Out of 15 things we can prioritize before we'd like to get these things funded in. That's what it comes to.
Y'all had to push back many local communities?
No communities pushed back that I've heard. We've had a few.
I've got about
individuals.
2 or 3 people who, but the argument was, well, it'll increase traffic, and it will, but a highway will be built in a way that it can accommodate the traffic and be actually safe. 271 to me is a really dangerous highway. There's a death out there probably every 3 or 4 years at least. Someone gets killed. It was about 2 years ago that they were going with 2 school buses and some teachers. Somebody got across the center line and there were some deaths. That's when the conversation began between me and Commissioner Austin, that Dan was talking about, and we really started the conversation on 271 South. Not blaming anybody. I told him, I said, no, sir, not blaming you at all, not blaming TxDOT, not blaming anybody. But safety is probably TxDOT's number one priority. They have about 5 metrics that look at safety, congestion, connectivity, economic development, and help me with the fifth one.
Environmental impact.
Maybe the air quality. It's in your proclamation. But we had already met, and I said there was a horrible death out west. A couple of people died, so much kids got hurt. And I said, not your fault, but just so you know how dangerous this highway is. Don and I went to a meeting a couple weeks ago. We got behind a combine. We were doing about 40 miles an hour.
We were doing 20.
We were doing 20 miles an hour, and we're trying to get to Mount Pleasant, and there was no shoulder, and it just backed up the traffic. And nothing against combines or farmers, they got to do what they got to do. But about every fourth vehicle is a semi on 271. It's a high traffic count. Really needs to be done.
That is about right. The truck traffic for US 271, for the amount of traffic it's got a really, really high truck volume. It's about 25%. So
And that's fantastic because it's commercial development that we can bring through our community and turn ourselves into a transportation hub. And it's going to take, the vision that we're all looking at in this room is about a 10-year vision. We don't want to be here in 10 years saying, you know what, we should have got put on that UTP 10 years ago. We want to be sitting here, none of us will probably be around. Whoever did that, we sure appreciate them doing it. I heard an interesting story that at the turn of the century, Dallas and Paris, Texas were the same size. But Dallas made decisions, and they were our transportation hub. Dallas, there's no reason to be where it is right now when you look at the map. But a bunch of railroads came in there, a bunch of highways came in there, DFW, and they made decisions 100 years ago that brought them to where they are today. That's what we need to be doing right now and have that kind of forward vision, I think.
One thing that I'm excited about, I've been doing this for over 30 years now, road highways, they take 1924 south, went to Austin every year, big for money, we get 10 million, 5 million, 10 million. It took us 6 sections to build 24.
What was that project called, Mr. Wall?
Excuse me?
What was that project called? That was on the tip of my tongue. That when y'all done the 24 South, widening it. What was that called?
No, it was Green Carpet route, that was 271.
Oh, but when y'all got the money together and y'all had your picture made, what was that name of that project called? Y'all got something, Sulphur Authority or something?
I don't recollect, but I do know the one that we just did, the one he's talking about. That money came along about 15 years ago, and it was because there were so many bridges, and it's a real low kind of spot. It was a real tough spot. That's what took so long.
That's been about 25 years ago they started that.
And if you remember going up there in that spot, it went down into 2-lane blacktop, and there were combines and farm equipment, and it was a real tough spot right there. It's going to be really nice when we get that finished.
I think a lot of it's human nature. We look at the whole, elephant and we figure out how we're going to eat it, and when you kind of get your low-hanging fruit first. And the reason why that piece on 1924 South was last is because it was hard. It was a lot of it's a swamp and lots of bridges, and you were confined by the core mitigation area for Cooper Lake on one side. And on both sides, we can only do what we can do on those. But I'll tell you this, it was the leadership of Don Wall and Sulphur River Regional Mobility Authority that made that project happen. TxDOT, and we've got different buckets we can put our hands in, and the bucket to do, the right of way and utilities is not the same bucket as planning, that's not the same bucket as construction. And, Summer stepped up big time and was able to put the pieces in place to make that happen. It wouldn't happen otherwise. So it was instrumental in getting that done.
And not only that, on the Sermon, and He's exactly right about the wall. I was flying the wall when that all happened. Sermon was the smallest regional mobility authority in the state of Texas and had the most partners in the state of Texas. And I think we got about $5.5 million in that project to make that happen. And so here we are today. And it took 15 years, and that requires discipline and vision and just keeping at it. And so that's where we are today. I'm optimistic, like Dan said, we're going to get a few pieces, hopefully. I don't know. The more pieces we get, the more likely we get the rest of the pieces done. So I think 271 is a no-brainer. I think 82 West is a no-brainer. Planning involved on 82 East, where TxDOT did a study on I-30. They cannot build I-30 big enough, fast enough to accommodate that traffic, especially at Lake Ray Hubbard. So they looked at 82, which is parallel to 30, and it converges into Boston. And you might want to tell them what's going on in Bowie County, where it's almost to the Red River County line. He mentioned that. So we, Red and Lamar, we really, really need to push hard. And assuming I'm here next year, I'm going to be back here next year, and next year, and next year, asking for this, so we can really try to get these highways forward. And it's going to come right through the middle of your town probably, unless I want the TxDOT to do something different. And it's going to really put you guys on track.
Appreciate that.
Thank you. So, please do the proclamation, please each one of you do individual letters, and then, snail mail it and/or attach it to an email. Attach it to an email to Mr. Perry, and it's in that package there. And that's what we're trying to do. And I noticed we're here on TV, and I can get Dan's email out on television. Everyone out there in TV land, if they're listening, it's Dan.Perry, P-E-R-Y @TxDOT.gov, Dan.Perry, P-E-R-Y @TxDOT.gov, and please send an email that you're in support of complete widening the 4 lanes of US Highway 271 and US 82. Send that to Mr. Perry, he's electronic file, and then that's going to be pushed up to the thing also that Mr. Perry, I probably said it, but I'll repeat it. The district engineers for Paris, Atlanta, and Tyler district favor these projects. So we are just that close. We just have to kind of give it a push, get past the tipping point, and I think we'll get there. So we need your help. We need your words, your leadership in your daily lives. As you run across people, you all have your own email list of friends and whatnot. If you'll please send out Mr. Perry's email address and say, please send Mr. Perry an email that you support the complete widening of US 271 and US 82 and Red and Lamar County. Send that out on your personal email list. Push that up to Mr. Perry, and then that way the leadership can hear from us.
Well, Mayor, I move to go ahead and accept the proclamation to support completely widening the 4 lanes US 271 and US 82 in Lamar and Red River counties as requested by Judge Chuck Superbill.
I'll second.
We have a motion by Councilmember Thomas, seconded by Councilmember Nichols to approve a proclamation to support completely widening to 4 lanes US 271 and US 82 in Lamar and Red River counties as requested by Judge Chuck Superbill. All in favor? All opposed? Thank y'all.
Tricia, would you make sure that you have all that ready?
You bet.
Attach that too, and send that up to Perry, and send that out proclamation.
Will do.
That's great. Thank you guys so much for having us.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Appreciate your introduction.
Yeah.
Sorry we took so much of your time.
Oh, good information. We're
Yeah.
glad to hear it.
This is great, this is really good news. Really, really good news. It's not gonna happen tomorrow, it's gonna be hopefully we get some good news in the soon. And we be excused.
Yes, sure.
Thank y'all very much.
When y'all when y'all find out, let us know.
It'll get away from you.
All here,
Yeah.
It'll be closing 4 wide.
you'll hear me all the way from the courthouse.
Mr. Wall, still might get your tea time in Arizona if you hurry.
That's right.
Thank y'all.
All right, thanks.
First of November.
Good to see you.
Thank y'all.
Thank you.
Move to item 9B, possible relocation of manholes on Highway 82.
It sounds like, oh, for you, Jerry.
Mayor, Council. This was brought to us, we have a business owner who wants to relocate a business on 82. He went in there, it looks like there's a sewer line in the back, it looks like it's going to be where he's going to put part of his building. He went out, when he came to us the first time, we didn't have to move that sewer line, put the building in there. So he went out and got a bid for it. Tricia knows more about this part of it than I do, but apparently he came back in, asking the city to assist in moving the sewer line.
Basically, it's, they're wanting to put in a home health agency here, but also an academy in with the building. So they already have purchased one lot. They removed 2 houses, actually, that was right there at this address at 6690 Lamar Avenue. But where they're wanting to build, there's 3 manholes there on the property. Right, Jerry, 3 manholes?
No, they're just two.
2, okay. Well, the bid that we received to remove those is $15,344.64.
Now, is it at 690 or 5590? Because on this one, it has 5590 on the bid, and on this, it's 60.
What's that address, Jerry? I'm going by her email and what the address was she put on there.
Do you know where, where is it? Do you know?
It's right, just past the
Storage unit.
storage units there on 82.
On which storage unit? Right here. The spot. On the east side?
West side.
West.
West side.
There'll be the property directly across there, the ditch that runs between them.
Will they bulldoze that house down?
Yeah, well, there's an empty lot there now. Well, it's 2 grown-up lots, but they cleared off both of those lots right now.
Which way the sewer line run?
It runs west.
Okay.
No,
Parallel with the highway?
it runs east, parallel with the highway, behind the property, southeast actually, but, yeah, and like I said, at first he went out to get bids to have it moved, because he asked me if he could move it. And I said, yeah, if you get the right bids, we do it the right way, we can move it. We can certainly move it if it has enough, fall on the line. We haven't shot any grades on it, I don't know 100% sure if it can be moved. It looks like it probably could be without an issue. So he went out and got a bid for a plumber to move it. So, from a contractor, actually.
And this is his bid?
That's the bid he got from the contractor. So their contractor called me last week sometime when he was looking at doing it for him, giving him a bid, and asking me, where's the manholes at, what's going to, some different things about the actual sewer line, but I didn't actually get the bid from the contractor. That's, when he came back asking if the city would do it, this was last week sometime. So it's just kind of got, I haven't really even looked into it.
It doesn't say how far does the sewer line need to be moved physically. It's showing 120 feet, and the depth, but it's not showing from where it is now to, how far over.
There's been more than just a few properties up, or businesses up from there that had to be moved several years ago, 10 years, I don't know how long it's been there, I guess. 10 years. And what you have to do is basically, everywhere you turn a sewer line, you have to put a manhole in, so there's your expense. So this would require at least 3 manholes.
Right, because it'd make 3 turns.
You're basically turning it south and turning it, going down and then turning it back and then coming back to the line on the other side, if the flow will work. So, it's about 200, it's about I think 150 foot up, south and then 200 foot east and probably 150 foot back. It's approximately what they're going to have to do to get it moved from where he wants it to move. So,
How reasonable does that bid seem to you?
it's probably fairly reasonable. Without us going out and getting any bids, which we haven't. Like I said, he got that,
Right.
he haven't moved, but, I imagine it's gonna be pretty close to ballpark on that. Like I said, it's 3 manholes, we usually range around $6,000 to $7,000 per manhole, so you can figure, he's not, it sounds cheap to me, actually, but for us to do that, I'd have to go out and get some bids, which I haven't called anybody to get any bids on.
Right.
It was just he wanted to bring it to you guys to see if y'all would be interested in doing it first of all.
I'd feel better if we had our own bids and you guys go down and look at it and stuff first before we even really
Right.
think about it, you know?
And that would be what we'd do. If you direct me to do that, that's perfectly fine. So, especially this morning.
Get the ball rolling.
Yeah, I agree. I think we need to make sure to work to start with. I mean,
Right, exactly.
you start, put 2 elbows in there, we need to make sure to work. You said there are other businesses that had to move them too?
There's been a couple of different instances in the past where they've been moved.
What normally, does the landowner usually do it, or do they ask the city to do it?
I don't have very many examples to look at. I know of one that the business owner moved. Other than that, I don't know. I mean, we could probably look back and see exactly policy on that states, but I guess it's kind of as it was at the time. But
It's not every day that we're asked to move
Right.
manholes.
Right.
I know there's several places where they need to be moved because they're on commercial properties and things, and I'd like to see them moved, but I think maybe we need to research that a little bit. If you want me to, I mean, I can get some bids together for us, if you want to go that direction. Probably give you the next meeting, I could probably have some bids on it. Know for sure whether it could actually, at least if I could find out if it would actually be possible to move the line. Because I mean, without knowing that here.
Right, yeah, I'd like to see any kind of business coming here. If we could help them, I'd like to help them, but I'd like to know that we're not gonna create more problems, and we create a problem with the sewer backing up upstream because this wouldn't work.
Well, I mean, as long as it's done right.
Yeah.
And it'll work, and it has to flow. I mean, you're talking about moving a sewer line, 200 foot, you gotta have a certain amount of fall on it, so it actually, it's quite a bit. So we'd have to shoot them first to kind of know what we could do and what we couldn't do.
Yeah, I think our best, like she said, our best advice is for you to see what we can do, make sure this will work before we go any further.
Yeah, I'm like Stacy, and I kind of want to know what cost before I said anything, either way. I mean, because this one right here is 15,000, and then the other one could come back 98,000.
Exactly.
And then,
Like I said, this is kind of a last minute
Right.
deal here. I talked to him about it because he was gonna remove it himself. And that was where I kind of left it at the last time I talked to him. He came in and asked for this, so.
Kevin Clarkson's very good at what he does. I mean, I'm sure he knows what.
oh yeah,
Yeah, it's gonna be a close bid.
and I'm not saying that, but
Yeah.
I just don't like just looking at one bid, just about
Yeah.
one person.
And
you know,
also,
'cause-
just from talking from him, that is a ballpark bid, that's not,
Fine,
could
yeah.
be this way or that way on that too. So, because he hasn't come out and shot at it or know what his contract to do it. He just bid the length of line, the size of the line, and the manholes.
All the material he's going to need.
Yeah. I think the first thing we need to do is let me find out for sure if it'll work.
And then look at the past, look at the policy and see.
And then you guys need to look at that, I think. And you might come to a conclusion of whether you don't want to do it, and just, whatever you direct me to do, I'll do.
Yeah, we need to kind of find out what we did with those other ones down up the street.
No action. Have no action on item 9B at this time. Item 9C, bids to remove trees and debris in Reno Historic African American Cemetery.
This is the same bid that was presented before.
We visited this last one, maybe the month before also. It seems like we keep talking about it, but every time we get to a meeting, we've done more over there than we did the last time, so that bid is kind of on that, kind of shrinking. We pulled a lot more trees out. We actually worked over there last week.
Yeah, I seen y'all back there working. I didn't know if it was y'all or who was
Yeah,
working on
we
it.
worked in there a couple days last week, but we need to get some of that brush burnt or whatever we're gonna do with it over there. But we've got quite a bit more out Thursday, Friday, so.
Well, this is mainly for like the perimeter, like where that alleyway is and over by the storage building, isn't that right?
Well, this actually,
Just to kind of prep it for that fence?
this bid was actually to do the whole thing, right? Ground stumps and all that.
It says on the bid. Clearing the perimeter of the cemetery and taking out a few scattered smaller trees and grinding stumps to ground level. So it's gonna basically, so we can clear it to put a fence in there.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
Is this supposed to be, we had one bid to go in and do the whole thing.
Well, originally, we had one bid, and then he came back and he gave us another bid, just a little bit lower. And then I contacted him again after this last month's council meeting, and he said that the bid is gonna stay the same because of his equipment and the time that he's gonna use doing it. He didn't change the bid.
This guy?
Yes,
He's the only one interested.
yes. And no one else wanted to take the liability with it being a cemetery.
Because I know to put in that fence, there's still going to be all on that back side. You know, out in it, it looks great, you know, but
Yeah.
around that perimeter, where the fence just happens, needs to go.
Yeah, it's gotta be cleared out, you still can't, you couldn't put a fence in there right now.
Uh-uh.
How much was that bid there?
2,600.
How much?
20, here you go.
Okay, so that's not the bid I was looking at. The bid I was looking at was like 5,500.
You were looking at the fence.
8,900.
2,600 is not bad.
No,
Around that thing.
it's really not. I
Maybe,
mean,
yeah.
86.98.
Here we go. That's $2,600 total. And we're running out of time to use this
Yeah, I know
this
it.
budget.
Is that going to come out of the cemetery maintenance?
It's gonna come out of that one cemetery fund. It's got its designated fund for it. It's not the Union Grove account.
Right, that's.
The cemetery maintenance, I think is
yeah,
what it's called.
cemetery.
Yeah.
There's like 13,000 in it.
Yes, that one.
Okay. All right. Because we can't, the next item is the fence, and we can't do the fence unless we get this.
Right.
So,
Yeah, this would kind of clear your folks up too.
Oh, yeah, put all that out there, if we can get that cleared out and get the fence up in there. Definitely take care of that.
Well, I'll make a motion that we accept the bid from Bruce Tech and Clearing, the amount of $2,600 to remove trees and debris from the Reno Historic African American Cemetery.
I'll second.
I have a motion by Councilmember Nichols, seconded by Councilmember Thomas, to approve the bids to remove trees from, and debris from the Reno Historic African American Cemetery. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Move to item 9D, bids to install fence around Reno Historic African American Cemetery.
That money is there too?
Yes.
I'll make a motion since we're gonna have it cleared out, that we accept the bid in the amount of $8,900, or $8,698 from Emerson Fence Company to install the fence around the Reno Historic African American Cemetery.
I'll second.
I have a motion by Councilmember Nichols, seconded by Councilmember Wood to approve the bids to install a fence around the Reno Historic African American Cemetery in the amount of $8,698. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Item 9E, making Adopt a Cop 5K an annual event.
I can explain this to you if you'd like. Councilmember Willows was wanting this to put on the agenda. She's wanting to make the Adopt a Cop an annual event. You all were here for that this past year.
Sounds good.
That's pretty much it.
Well, I move that we go ahead and make Adopt a Cop 5K an annual event for the city of Reno.
I'll second.
I have a motion by Councilmember Thomas, seconded by Councilmember Wood to make Adopt a Cop 5K an annual event in the city of Reno. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Item 9F, making Christmas in the Park an annual event.
Same thing here. She's
I'll make
wanting to make
motion.
it an annual event.
I make a motion for the Christmas in the Park to be an annual event.
I'll second.
I have a motion by Councilmember Wood, seconded by Councilmember Nichols to make Christmas in the Park an annual event. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Item 9G, approve resolution number 134.15 for the annual review of the City of Reno's investment policy.
This has to be reviewed each year, so here it is once again.
Have you gone to that this year yet?
It's December. I'm signed up for it.
I'll make a motion we approve resolution number 134.15 for the annual review of the city of Reno's investment policy.
I'll second.
I have a motion by Councilmember Nichols, seconded by Councilmember Thomas to approve the resolution 134.15, the annual review of the City of Reno's investment policy. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Item 9H, set fall cleanup for October 20 to 21st, 2018 from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m.
We're just getting ready for our fall cleanup, and we're just trying to pick a date to go ahead and plan for.
Look good with you, Gary?
That's not our backup weekend, is it? That's not our backup weekend, is it? I'll make a motion for cleanup for October 20 to 22nd, 2018 from 7 a.m. to p.m.
Second.
I have a motion by Councilmember Woods, seconded by Councilmember Nichols to set the date for the fall cleanup for October 20th and 21st, 2018 from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Item 9I, street and drainage repairs for Wood Creek and Lake Shore as recommended by Street Commission.
Okay, this one on Wood Creek and Lake Shore is a section, actually a drainage problem we're trying to correct. We've been working on it for about a year and a half or so, trying to figure out what to do, and we're trying to come up with a decent plan that we think will help a couple residents out over there, we just let it flood it out. And we get real heavy money, but I think what they come up with will solve a lot of our problem. The Street Commission agreed, so. And a little bit was in the paper.
Is that just the one for 5,200? Just for that one?
Yeah, it's just a small stretch there, where we're gonna try to, they're gonna crown the road, basically is what they're doing, and repair a piece of curb.
And it's just that one, I mean, right?
Yeah, on Wood Creek, make sure that's it.
That's just, okay, yeah.
Yeah.
All right, then I move to go ahead and approve the street and drainage repairs for Wood Creek and Lake Shore as recommended by the Street Commission through J&L Paving, in the amount of $5,250.
A second.
I have a motion by Councilmember Thomas, seconded by Councilmember Wood to approve the street repairs for Wood Creek, drainage repairs for Wood Creek and Lake Shore Drive as recommended by Street Commission in the amount of $5,250 for J&L Paving. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Item 9J, street repairs for Blackburn Street and Clement Alley as recommended by Street Commission.
These are some bids I was asked to get. We looked at what it would be, so it encompasses from Airport Road, it's actually the street, called Clement Alley. But it would be this street up here, in front of City Hall, all the way back around, make the whole loop back out to Airport Road. This road, this one that has been touched in about 15 years or so, and it's falling apart.
So it's gonna go all the way back behind, all the way out to the,
Yeah, it'll go all the way back around, it's gonna make the whole loop. And with the bids we got were fairly reasonable, so they decided we would go ahead and try to get it done.
it's just those, right? Clement and Blackburn.
It's Clement,
It's gonna be added together.
Maybe Davis Street fits into that also.
Okay.
Here's Clement Alley.
Hard to bid it because it doesn't reflect where it actually changes streets, it looks like all one street.
It's gonna be $22,048, right?
It would be
I think.
the 13,480.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
How much is it?
$22,048. Mayor, I move to go ahead and approve the street repairs for Blackburn Street and Clement Alley as recommended by the Street Commission in the amount of $22,048.
Second.
I have a motion by Councilmember Thomas, seconded by Councilmember Nichols to approve street repairs for Blackburn Street and Clement Alley as recommended by the Street Commission in the amount of $22,048 to J&L Paving. All in favor? All opposed? Item 9K, street and curb repair for Walnut Hill and Inwood as recommended by Street Commission.
Okay, this one is one of our longest, our biggest projects, our big project for the year. This is what we came up with with the Street Commission. This will be repaving Inwood Drive from Anderson Road all the way to Walnut Hills, and Walnut Hills up 282. I don't know if y'all have driven that lately, but it's got pretty bad.
Why were these two bids so far apart?
That's
I mean-
the question, but
I mean, it's the exact same, I looked, I mean, it's like exact everything.
$30,000.
Right.
Yeah, yeah.
and we look them over at Street Commission, and if we don't see any major differences in the bid, we're gonna go with it.
Well, yeah.
We didn't see anything.
All right, Mayor, move to go ahead and approve street and curb repair for Walnut Hill in Inwood, recommended by the Street Commission through J&L Paving in an amount of $53,848.
I have a motion by Councilmember Thomas, seconded by Councilmember Nichols to approve street and curb repair for Walnut Hill and Inwood as recommended by the street commission, an amount of $53,848 to J&L Paving. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Item 9L, trail repairs as recommended by Parks and Trails Committee.
The Parks and Trail Committee, they met this past, last Tuesday. And basically, they're running to the end of their budget for this year. And they look like they have about $7,500 left in their budget after we have a couple of expenses coming out that's expected. We're replacing a piece of playground equipment and the benches and the
I have
tarps.
asked them if we can use whatever they wanted to use out of that money to do some sealing on the walking trail. Crack seals through one kind of companies. And actually, we didn't know exactly how much money they have left, and we don't know exactly how far it'll go. A couple different people I've talked to said, hey, $10,000 might do the whole thing. So if we can spend $5,000 or $6,000 at it this year, maybe next budget we do it again, we get the whole thing done. And it may not take that much, but we've got to get on it pretty quick and try to seal what cracks that we can save right now before we really have to do a lot of major repairs on it.
I know from the bridge past a little bit, there's about 150 yards in there. It's really bad.
That section right there is going to take a bunch. What they can, I mean, they can't seal, obviously, over
Right.
3 or 4 inch cracks, but the small ones they can. And we haven't done it in, I'll tell you the last time we did it, we sealed it together. It's been probably 8 years ago. 7 or 8 years ago. But I highly recommend if we can spend that money on sealing that trail, that's what we should get started on.
Do you think they're going to have more than 500 come out of their budget for the playground?
Yes.
I'm expecting to have, I mean, if you guys wanted to approve up to $5,000 or $6,000, whatever's left in the budget to
Right.
spend on the trail, if you just give us that permission, we could go with it.
And the way that that stuff works is you buy it by the box. It's like $150, $200 a box for it. So that's basically what I'd be doing. I'd just be buying it by the box until we get to a certain point, or we finished, or whatever happened, or we run out of money. So that's kind of how that works.
Where do you get that from?
J&L does it. There's a couple different places that do it. J&L's giving me the best bid for a box right now, so.
So how much do you think they're going to, do you have any kind of roundabout figure about how much that playground and all that other stuff? I mean, you think close?
I think we're gonna have around $7,600, but then we need to take out what we're gonna use for mowing, and then the monthly expenses, the porta potties that we have at the trail, and then spraying the trail, the walking trail at the park again. So, I mean, I think it would be safe to say up to about $6,000 at least for the trail. If you want to approve more than that.
$6,000 I feel like would be a real good start on it. We'll know after that where we're at, how much more we're going to need.
It's kind of hard to give you an exact amount.
Right, yeah, I know.
Well, if we approve that and after everything's finished for this budget year, whatever's left, I guess the last meeting before the October, we can spend the rest of it on the trail?
You could do that too.
We're not talking about maybe $1,500.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they may use a little bit of that for the event that's coming up in October too.
Yeah.
Maybe a little bit.
I think we'd be safe if we did 6,000. Leave it up in there and take care of everything else to the
And then you'll just tell them and then we'll just start on it and,
see where we go.
right.
See where we-
I'd have them start in that one spot though.
Yeah, that's what we're going.
Instead of don't start down at the really good place, then work your way down, then run out of money.
If I run out, I'll run out working on the worst spot.
Right. Okay, I move to go ahead and approve the trail repairs as recommended by the Parks and Trail Committee up to $6,000.
I have a motion by Councilmember Thomas, seconded by Councilmember Wood, to approve the trail repairs in the amount of $6,000. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed?
Thank you.
Thanks.
Item 9M, redesigning the City of Reno website.
We just keep asking for more and more money, I know.
But we've had our website for several years now, and now it's time to update it, because as of December of 2019, they won't support
The website anymore. With
What do you
anything
mean
and
they?
everything you
Who's
have.
that- who's they?
Civic Plus.
Huh?
Civic Plus, the company where we actually got the website. They give us support on it all the time. I mean, if we need tech support 24/7.
Over a year from now.
No, I'm sorry, December
2018. So
Okay.
I'm preparing for it now, so if you want me to do any kind of arrangements with the budget so that we can afford it this year, or if you want to just plan for it in the next budget, I just wanted to bring it to your attention.
Okay, what do you mean that they won't support it?
Just like with our kiosk, we had to upgrade it because it's getting outdated. And with this, they give us two options. At first, they wanted to give us one option, but then I found out there was another.
So with this, it would be $5,000
For us to be able to design our website any way we want. And they would take all of our content, they would move it over and do everything we need to.
but there's another option, and it's $4,000 for a core redesign, and they give us 5 layouts to choose from.
And then they would move all of our content over and make these changes for us.
And we pay them monthly, though,
We pay them quarterly,
quarterly. How much?
$180.
All right. So,
It's on top of that.
and for that, let's say $700 and something a year, what do? They just host our website.
Yes.
Okay. But in December, they're like, we can't do it unless you pay us.
We could keep our old website if we want to, and everything would remain the same, but we wouldn't have any support from them at all because they're upgrading, and that's their excuse. It's
So we
just,
wouldn't have to pay them $700 a month then? I mean, $700 a year?
well, I didn't ask that.
I mean, you would think we wouldn't.
If they say they won't support us,
Right. Then we wouldn't have to pay that. I'm pretty sure we would, and I don't know why we would if we're not going to use them for anything.
You got me on that one.
because any kind of payments don't go through that website, correct?
Well, we do have the e-bill, e-pay.
But it redirects, correct?
It's through USTI, but it does go through our website.
Right, but it redirects to, so
Technically, we wouldn't really need them if,
I don't see why that we have to pay to have this redone. It just, I don't know, it doesn't make sense to me.
if you're comfortable with keeping it the way it is,
For $5,000, yes. Sure am. I mean, if anyone could tell me what we would gain $5,000 wise on changing the screen to an American flag here or something, And I'm all for updating things, but for $5,000, really,
But I know-
GoDaddy will do it for $1.
yeah. But the new templates they give us, and it's basically a selling point more than anything, is to make your website kind of look 3D and more up to date.
How many people use the website?
A lot. We have a lot of people pay their bill on there.
But that goes to a different website once you click it.
I know, it does. It's relinked.
I got an idea. Well, why don't we look into contacting some other company about doing a whole new webpage for us? See what they'll charge us. I mean, they might say, oh, yeah, we'll do whatever you need to do for, $500 a year. Maintain it, host it, do everything. You can update it anytime you want to. Doesn't matter.
I'll bring you, oh, hold on, the CD just ran out.
It's a lot of money for that.
I'm just presenting it to you guys.
Who presented it to you?
Civic Plus, the website. Okay. You want me to bring you back some more bids and ideas?
Yeah, I agree. I think we should shop around and see.
I mean, they're out of Kansas. I mean, surely there's someone like over in the Metroplex that can do it.
People right here in Paris that can do it.
Maybe
Right.
like whoever does the stuff for the chief. Maybe they do stuff like that or something. I don't know.
I'll look around.
I mean,
That's over my head. I just started texting last year, so.
hey, I don't even text.
I don't think very long, I'll just say that.
They don't even have a cellular car phone.
I just got FaceTube.
I can look and I can bring some more bids back if you want to do that, or I can look into seeing what all would include with what we currently have. If we can just keep it the way it is without anything, I'll let you know that too.
Like I said, I don't understand what they're not going to support. I mean, it's their system. How can they say, we're not going to support it anymore?
Kind of like when your warranty runs out on your car, we're done.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But if you want to buy another one, we'll keep on going.
She's pretty persistent. I mean, I asked several times if there's any other options, and she basically said, no, that, with all technology, you're going to have to keep up to date and keep upgrading and updating, and it's time for them to do that, and the current program that they have is pretty old. We have had it for a while, but,
Well, I'm not going to argue that.
yeah. I'll bring you back some more bids.
Yeah,
I mean, it's one thing if they're having to upgrade and they're, okay, we say we need to charge you a little bit extra a month because, we got to absorb this cost. Okay, I can understand that, but we're already paying. So, yeah, I'm with you. I don't, it doesn't make any
I guarantee you,
sense.
the only thing it would take would be just real easily just switching it over to their new software. Probably take some guy that, 20 minutes before he goes to lunch. I don't see anything, real hard to do. So, yeah, before we spend that kind of money for that.
Be no action on item 9M at this time. Item 9N, use, risk, disposition of a single-family residence and retention pond located at 450 Anderson Road, acquired by City of Reno in a transaction involving property ID 54131 and 54179.
Do you guys remember what this is for?
That's for the house.
Yeah,
I think that we ought to sell it. Put out bids, sell it to somebody like a house that owns a house moving company that'll come in, move the whole thing out, and actually pay us to do it. And we'll make a little bit of money off of it, and we don't have to spend the money to bulldoze it and haul it off and all that.
well, I agree, we bought the park for that frontage on that highway. I think that's the best thing, but I'm trying to remember, if we take sealed bids, we can reject them. If we have an auction, we have to,
You have to accept an
Accept it.
auction, yes.
I would be in favor of taking sealed bids on on that property.
To be moved.
To be moved, yeah, clear that lot off.
That sounds good to me too. What about the pond? That's also on the agenda item.
Personally, I say we dig it out to about 5 or 6 acres.
I think we should keep the pond and dig it out.
That's what I'm saying. I mean, Paris has one.
Could have a kid fish deal there and all that.
The Texas Parks and Wildlife come in and stock the whole thing every spring. All the kids in town get to go out there and fish. They even bring in fishing poles for them all.
Yeah.
I mean, we could do something like that here. I mean,
Have you ever had any calls out to the pond for anybody that's been there for a long time? Yeah, I've always kind of been in favor of keeping it. But I think we need to make it look nicer, clean it up and
Oh, yeah.
all that kind of
Dig it out.
Yeah, we can use the money for the house to work on the ponds.
That house ain't gonna bring very much money. If it brings anything.
but it'd be better than paying to have it bulldozed and hauled off at probably about $6,000 or $7,000 probably.
It's better than nothing.
Huh?
Better than nothing.
Yeah. And, there was talk about keeping it for like a community center, which I'm all for that. But I promise you, it'd be cheaper to build a brand new building than it would be to remodel that one.
Yeah, it's a
To
junk.
make it nice enough, for something like that.
Yeah, we get a community center, we get an open space.
Right, something big and nice and built specifically for that purpose.
Right.
Instead of, well, we can knock out this wall and look how big this room is now.
Take a lot of work.
Yeah.
That'd make a good spot for the fire department and a community center, all in one. So what do we need to do with that?
A motion, you need a motion for what you want to do with the residents in the pond?
Well, I'd leave the pond, for now, but you want to just go ahead and say to put the house out for sealed bid? For removal?
Yeah.
All right. I move to go ahead and put out for sealed bids for the single-family residence at 450 Anderson Road to be removed. And as for the pond, I would say to leave as is.
Second.
We have a motion by Councilmember Thomas, seconded by Councilmember Nichols to put out sealed bids for the purchase and removal of the house located at 450 Anderson Road, and to leave the pond as is. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Item 9O, 2018-2019 tax rate and 2018-19 budget.
I included some tax information in your packet, just to give you an idea of where we are with our effective rate, our rollback rate, and our current rate.
I'll also put in your seat a list of the current tax rates from the surrounding cities, just so you'd have that in the school districts. It should be up with your little calendar. Look under that one, Stacy. See if there's one.
So basically, I put these here so that we can discuss the tax rate a little bit, kind of give me an idea where you'd like to keep it. I'm going to send something to the Paris News if we can all agree on The dates and the times for this public hearing. And this is basically what I'm going to send the Paris News if you all can agree with the public hearing dates. That the tax rate of .5151, and that's just right below the rollback rate. And you guys can approve that or anything below it to our current tax rate. So I'll submit all this information. And if you guys are available September the 5th at 6 o'clock and September the 10th at 6 o'clock, that's the regular council meeting, so.
I'm good with both those.
Okay. The 10th for sure. I don't know about the 5th.
Okay. Do you have any questions on this?
Do we need to make a motion for the tax rate?
Not tonight.
Okay.
This is basically on here just to give me an idea if you guys can be here for this date and to let you know what I am submitting so that
Okay.
keeping you in the loop here. And just looking at everything, if you guys went with the .5151 tax rate, which is just below the rollback rate, okay. That's quite a bit more, but less than everybody else. But we've got plenty of time in all of our workshops to figure that out. I also have those other calendars in your seats just to see if you guys want to, well, that's the next line item, sorry.
I think I'm open any of those days, so.
So do
How
y'all
many
want?
think we'll need, 2 or 3?
Well, last year, we met 2 different weeks in August, and then we had 2 other meetings in September, so we had a total of 4. And the 4th one was to adopt the budget and the tax rate.
So really 3.
Yeah.
Mondays
Jerry,
and
you need to
Tuesdays.
Get all your list together. For whatever future things you're looking at for next year.
What do you guys think about Monday, the 20th of August?
I'm good for that.
It will have to be after 7. Well, I mean, y'all can start. I can just come when I get off work and good with that.
6th? Okay.
You won't be here?
You can give me yours if you'd like, or,
Okay, just do that and kind of do like a priority list. And I guess tell the chief we'll need something along the same line from him by the 20th. If everybody can make it.
Let's do run together.
sure.
Next Monday.
But when we get to this one, you just need a motion for it, I think.
What about the next week? Do you want to do one the last week of August as well?
Okay. First one's when we'll just start kind of figuring out what we're going to need, kind of where we're sitting and things like that, so.
Is that thunder?
Yes.
The next week, I'm good on the 29th, 30th. The 28th would have to be after 7, and the 31st have to be before 6.
What about the 27th? Because as of right now, I don't think we have anything to present to planning and zoning.
Yeah, it'd have to be after 7.
Okay.
Well, I say y'all can start, and I can come when I get off work.
What time? I don't know. Say what time you go to work, but I'm not coming up here that early, I guess.
Yeah, you just come in here at 4 o'clock in the morning.
Oh, no.
I mean, we could do a 7, it doesn't,
I mean, I'm fine with 7, if you want to wait till 7. I'm working a part-time evening job, so Mondays and Tuesdays are my days off on those.
Oh, okay.
So what do y'all think? What day, what time? Stacy, what time did you say on Tuesday or Wednesday?
Tuesday or Wednesday. Tuesday, the 28th would be after 7. Wednesday, I'm off on the Wednesday.
You're off on Wednesday?
Mhm.
Do y'all want to do it on Wednesday at any time? What time's good for you guys? 6, 5:30?
I can try. I don't know if I'll be off on Wednesday.
I'll do 6.
6.
I always get mixed up thinking it's 6 o'clock and it's always 5:30.
Okay. September, we're closed the 3rd, that's Labor Day. There's a park control meeting on the 4th. And I put on here, well, that doesn't say workshop, but it's a budget workshop and tax rate, public hearing on the 5th at 6 o'clock.
Yeah, I'm good with that.
Okay. Brandon, you are too?
Yeah.
Tricia, do you think you'll be here?
Yeah, I mean, I've got people that could probably work on Wednesday.
Okay. I put on here, on the 10th is a council meeting and a tax rate public hearing. If you wanted to do a budget workshop before that, it's entirely up to you guys. I'm throwing you some suggestions.
If we needed one,
Okay.
we could, put that on there, I think.
Okay.
I think by the 5th, we'll have it pretty well rounded up.
Okay. I put on here for the 17th to be the last budget workshop and called council meeting to adopt the budget and the tax rate. That be okay?
Yep, that's good.
What's the last day for that, you know?
Just before October the 1st. Last year, we did it on the 20th. Do you think we need another one for the week of, well, Brandon, you said no, you think we'll have it wrapped up by then? Okay.
I think these first two,
Hopefully.
and by the 5th, we'll have it wound up.
Okay.
I think. I mean, I don't foresee any big problems, so.
I'll email everyone just to remind you of the dates and times that we've discussed.
Okay. Yeah, if something happens in that second meeting, we realize it's going to take longer, we'll have time to put another one on there.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
you can state it if you want.
28th, 29th.
Yeah. August the 20th, 6 o'clock. 29th, 6 o'clock.
Month 28th.
No, we're gonna do it on Wednesday at 6 because he's off that day.
Okay.
And then September 5th.
We'll have a budget workshop on August the 20th at 6 o'clock, August the 29th at 6 o'clock, and September the 5th at 6 o'clock.
And then we'll have the public hearing and tax rate on the 10th.
And the public hearing and tax rate and a workshop if needed on September the 10th.
And it would be good to adopt everything on the 17th.
And we'll adopt it then on the 17th. This meeting is adjourned, 7:40 PM.